Well, hello everybody, it's Connor. We're back here with your second video of the day. Please make sure you're checking out the preview with Dan earlier on. It is well worth it. Dan from Lions TV. We've crossed over a couple of times, and Dan, one of the best Millwall creators, if not the best Millwall creator, and we had a right little natter, a right little discussion early on about Millwall. Make sure you check that out, everybody. We've got exclusive bits on Patreon as well if you want to get involved in that. Now, if you don't know, I've tried to blow it up as much as I can. I've not said too much, but, you know, I've delved into it a little bit. I am going to the US of A to film with the Tampa Bay Whites, which I'm really, really excited for. We're then going to Miami to a sport convention at Soccer X, and hopefully we're going to be meeting some American Leeds fans out there as well. So stay with me on the 10-day journey from Tampa to Miami. We're going to be vlogging every single day. Really excited. The adventure starts tomorrow, post Leeds United versus Millwall, with a very, very long flight to Tampa from Gatwick. So shout out to all of you American Whites, and shout out to all of the subscribers as well. We're getting into Daniel Farke's press conference. Let's go. So the main meat, everybody, from this press conference is really good news. Leeds have no injuries, which is fantastic, really, or no new reoccurring injuries, which for Leeds United is a big, big tick. I think the sort of the big thing coming from this is Joe Gelhardt obviously is out, Patrick Bamford is out. We all know these things, but the purest form of sort of happiness when it comes to Leeds fans is not hearing, oh yeah, we have another injury there, we have another injury there. Doesn't appear to be that, and we actually got some clarity on some of the players that might be returning in the near future, especially one concerning Mr. Ethan Ampadu. Like I said, he's working hard and already done some running. It will be a while before he can join us in team training. He's even a bit ahead of schedule. I'm carefully optimistic we can return him to training a little bit earlier. We will see. Normally it will be realistic to be back in training in the middle of December and then available in the beginning of January. It would be nice if it can help us already a bit earlier and sooner, because he's our captain and a versatile player. We would love to have him back, but we won't rush it. It was a serious injury. Now, we know as well with Ethan that he is one of the club's best players. He's the captain. And it blows up a huge discussion when it comes to Leeds United fans with what's going on right now. I mean, we're speaking about a Millwall game, obviously, but in general capacity, Leeds are at such a good state when it comes to the midfield right now. We are so good in that department. I would argue, since being in the Championship, the midfield looks so well balanced, so well coached, so well versed. They just look perfect together. And it's such an interesting conversation because the rhetoric now online has gone straight back to, don't get me wrong, Ethan Ampadu should be back in the starting 11. Anybody who thinks differently is an idiot, is stupid. And if you don't think this, that, and the other, then what are you doing with your life? But that's kind of the rhetoric right now. And with Ethan Ampadu ahead of schedule, we were all sort of thinking maybe that it was going to be February by the time he even steps onto the grass, really, with the seriousness of the nature. And listen, Alai Gruev, we know that it might be even longer than that. It's probably going to be March, April, from what the Bulgarian coach said earlier on this month. But when it comes to Ethan Ampadu, having him back ahead of schedule will be so important to this Leeds United team. The reason behind that is because it's the experience as well. It is the versatility, as Daniel Farke said, with the centre-back option and a defensive midfield option, of course. Now, one of the myths that I do have to dispel is take Joe Rodon out for Ethan Ampadu. Guys, that should never, ever, ever happen. And I still firmly believe in that winning run last season. If Joe Rodon and Pascal Struijk are the back two and Ethan Ampadu, we still get the winning run that we had at that period of time, 100%. You've seen with Pascal Struijk this season that in no sense is Pascal Struijk a hindrance on your team. He's always going to be a beneficiary to the side, as we were saying post-January last season when we were taking pelters on this channel to say, for saying, you know, Pascal being back in, you know, we'd be getting the exact same results right now. So Ethan is that versatility, but we have a fantastic centre-back partnership right now. But the controversial thing right now is we have an excellent central midfield pairing. And it is funny because now it is when Ethan's back in, and we've got Farke's point of view. We know that he will be coming back in. But from the fans' perspective, when Ethan does come in, and let's say hypothetically, if this is continuing like it's continuing, how can you drop them? And that includes Joe Rothwell as well. Is it just because Ethan Ampadu's the captain? Is it because Ethan Ampadu is just, you know, doing what he's doing? You don't really change a winning team. And how can you change a team that's doing so well from that midfield standpoint. You know, Joe Rothwell's in like top 6, top 7 for accurate long balls, which is obviously helping Leeds get up the pitch and helping Leeds with transition. Obviously, that you're seeing Al-Tanaka in pretty much every single metric right at the top when it comes to ball players and playmakers within this Leeds United side in the Championship. They're doing so well as a pairing. So it's so interesting. Listen, yeah, I love Ethan, and I know the manager wouldn't, let's say, drop maybe a Brendan Harrison to put an Ethan in to make a midfield 3. I know that's not going to happen, but it does really, really open up the question, doesn't it? Rothwell or Ethan Ampadu, and that this conversation might come sooner than we think with what Daniel Farke was saying today, because you feel Tanaka is the first name on the team sheet. Obviously, guys, we know that largely Ramazani is going to be out for this one. We know the sort of similar injuries in terms of Gruev and Ampadu and all this sort of stuff. Max Verber is still out for this one. Millwall's going to be a really, really tough task. They're a very good team, very well-oiled team. It's a different team to what we faced last season. Millwall under Gary Rowett. Millwall under Harris is a very different one. I mean, when we've come up against him in the past, it's been tricky when he was a player and a manager. So it's going to be one of those where I feel like, you know, Leeds we've won more ball recoveries in the opponent's third than any other side in the division. So what you've got to look at is Leeds are extremely good at winning the ball high. The problem is, and what you see a lot of in this division right now, is teams trying to play out from the back and getting caught. Harris isn't going to do that. Neil Harris will not do that with Millwall. He knows exactly where Leeds are extremely good and exactly where Millwall would be extremely bad if they were to play that way. Do they have the players to play a certain way where they're passing out from the back? No. And they've already explored that, and it's already been kiboshed under previous managers. So Millwall have just gone back to type, which is getting the ball up, bypassing a press, and it's worked really, really well from this season. This season, if you look at Millwall's results, they've not been beaten by more than a goal. It has been, I mean, even at the start of the season when they lost, I believe it was to Bristol City and Watford, it was 4-3, it was 3-2. But since then, they've won 3-0 and 3-1 against, I believe it was Preston and Sheffield Wednesday. The rest have just been 1-1, 1-0, 1-0 either way, 0-0s. It's been crazy. So Millwall do not concede a lot of goals, but they don't score a lot of goals either. So I feel like the blueprint is going to be exactly what we normally know with Millwall, where it is just going to be set pieces. And if the set pieces are going to be efficient, then it's going to be a long evening for Leeds United. But I firmly believe that our quality, my expectation is extremely high for this game. I expect a win for Leeds United. I don't care where Millwall are. I don't care what the record is. You look at their top signings, you look at the value of our players, and look, people say, oh, football's not played on paper. I don't care. For the majority of the times, I keep saying on these videos, it really is played on paper. Leeds United should be winning this game, and we should be winning this game well, in my opinion. Look, I know Burnley didn't, but from speaking to Dan, go check that video out after this, everybody. He was saying Burnley didn't even really turn up, and Burnley have been poor in a lot of games this season. Their XG reflects that. So Leeds United need to go into this game and make a statement. It's going to be one of the toughest games of the season. They're 7th in the division, just outside the playoff spots. 3 wins on the bounce, a good record at home as well. But I don't care. If Leeds United have title ambitions, if Leeds United have top 2 ambitions, these are the games, these are the grounds that you go down and you win, okay? We've got the 5th best away form in the division. I want us to have the 1st or 2nd best away form in the division alongside our number 1 first placed home record. I want us to make that away record into a very good one. And 5th in the division, it could be a lot better with this side. We've drawn to Bristol City, we've drawn to Norwich, we've drawn to West Bromwich Albion. I think all those 3 games should have been wins for Leeds United by my expectations. Sunderland, it was a freak incident. But listen, all that away form needs to increase, in my opinion. 3 away draws on the bounce. Let's make it an away win. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds United win. Really interested to know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.